with the U.S. missing the 2018 World Cup, one might expect there to be almost no MLS presence at all in Russia 2018. And that would be wrong. The obvious improvement of MLS over the past 4 years is evident in the significant number of its players who will be in Russia even with no U.S. contingent included. In 2014, there were 31 MLS players on official rosters, of whom 16 represented the United States. This year, there are 19 from MLS in Russia, representing 6 countries. That's more than a 200% increase in MLS representation at the World Cup from 2010, when the United States did have a team entered. More full World Cup schedule. Here is the list of MLS players named to final rosters. Costa Rica name: Francisco Calvo. Position: defender. MLS team: Minnesota United. Caps: 36 international goals. 4 overview. Calvo started on the left side of Costa Rica's 3-man back line in last week's friendly against England. He subbed in the second half for Oscar Duarte and scored in the 66th minute. He has a significant chance to make an impact for Costa Rica in Group E. Name: David Guzman. Position: midfielder. MLS team: Portland Timbers. Caps: 45 international goals. 0 overview. Guzman was part of the midfield setup in Costa Rica's 2-0 victory over the United States last September, the win that all but assured the Ticos would return to the World Cup for the 4th time in 5 cycles. He started the Northern Ireland friendly and again versus England, though he was subbed off in the latter game. He figures to be in the lineup for the opener against Serbia. Name: Ronald Matarrita. Position: defender. MLS team: New York City FC. Caps: 18 international goals. 2 overview. Bothered by injury through much of 2017, Matarrita played only in the final game of the Hex for Costa Rica and appeared only as a substitute in the first 2 pre-cup friendlies. At his best, he is a dynamic left-back who can add a spark to the Costa Rica attack. More World Cup odds, predictions, picks. Name: Marco Arena. Position: forward. MLS team: LAFC. Caps: 60 international goals. 15 overview. U.S. fans will remember well Arania's 2 goals in the World Cup qualifier at Red Bull Arena last September. He is a hard-working forward who is respected for his strength and tenacity, but even though he had the big game against the U.S. and delivered a huge goal in the 2014 World Cup to help the Ticos win their difficult group, ahead of Italy, England and Uruguay, he never has been a scoring machine. Name: Rodney Wallace. Position: defender. MLS team: New York City FC. Caps: 24 international goals. 4 overview. Wallace was born in Costa Rica but grew up in the United States and played 1 season of college soccer at Maryland, where he won an NCAA championship. He spent 1 year with DC United and 5 with Portland, winning MLS Cup in 2015, before leaving to play in Portugal and then Brazil. He returned to MLS last season and has been a regular at NYCFC. Name: Kendall Watson. Position: defender. MLS team: Vancouver Whitecaps. Caps: 24 international goals. 3 overview. Watson has been at the core of Vancouver's central defense since joining the club in 2014. He scored twice for Costa Rica in the Hex, both against Honduras, both securing draws that helped the Ticos qualify for Russia. More 9 Nations U.S. fans can support in Russia. Panama. Name: Harold Cummings. Position: defender. MLS team: San Jose Earthquakes. Caps: 51 international goals. 0 overview. Cummings was injured for much of 2017 and thus not a significant part of Panama's successful pursuit of its first World Cup bid, but he still is important enough to be included on the roster. He substituted in the 58th minute for starter Roman Torres in a 1-0 friendly loss to Norway. Panama have lost 3 friendlies against World Cup entrants since qualifying for Russia on the final day of the CONCACAF Hex. Name: Fidel Escobar. Position: defender. MLS team: New York Red Bulls. Caps: 21 international goals. 1 overview: Escobar scored one of the biggest goals of Panama's World Cup qualifying campaign, his wicked free kick from the top of the box in the 22nd minute, earning 3 points at Honduras, and Panama needed every one. He went the full 90 in the friendlies against Norway and Northern Ireland and looks like he'll be a part of Panama's lineup for the opener against Belgium. Name: Anibal Godoy. Position: midfielder. MLS team: San Jose Earthquakes. Caps: 86 international goals. 1 overview: Godoy played the first half of the Northern Ireland game and all 90 against Norway. He played the full game as Panama earned the 2-1 victory over Costa Rica last October that earned the nation its first World Cup berth. He should be a starter against Belgium. Name: Adolfo Machado. Position: defender. MLS team: Houston Dynamo. Caps: 65 international goals. 1 overview: Machado is considered a reliable part of Panama's defense and started both of the pre-World Cup friendlies. This is his 2nd season in Houston, where he started 10 games before leaving to join the national team for pre-World Cup training. World Cup 2018, Groups, Teams, Key Players to Watch. Name: Michael Murillo. Position: defender. MLS team: New York Red Bulls. Caps: 21 international goals. 2 overview: a young right-back whose 7 starts for the Red Bulls this year have resulted in 1 goal and 2 assists. Murillo still is working to make himself a fixture in the senior national team. He figures to function as part of the depth for Panama's World Cup side. Name: Roman Torres. Position: defender. MLS team: Seattle Sounders. Caps: 108 international goals. 10 overview: the most recent of Torres' goals was the one that clinched Panama's entry into the World Cup. He is one of Panama's most important players, providing energy and toughness in strong doses. He has been with the Sounders since 2015, helping them to win the 2016 MLS Cup. Mexico. Name: Giovanni Dos Santos. Position: forward. MLS team: LA Galaxy. Caps: 104 international goals. 19 overview: Gio Dos Santos has been an important part of Mexico's national team for more than a decade, after making his first appearance at age 18. His speed and cleverness with the ball has not resulted in a huge number of goals for himself, but he has helped the team win 3 Gold Cups, the FIFA U17 World Championship and the 2012 Olympic gold medal. This is his 3rd World Cup. Name: Jonathan Dos Santos. Position: midfielder. MLS team: LA Galaxy. Caps: 35 international goals. 0 overview: less dazzling than his younger brother, Jonathan is a steady midfielder considered an effective alternative in case of injury. He never has appeared at a World Cup. Jonathan was a late cut in 2010, a decision that led Gio to threaten to quit the national team, according to his father. Jonathan was out of the picture altogether on the way to Brazil 4 years ago, but he started 6 games in the 2017 Hex and 3 at last summer's Confederations Cup. Name: Carlos Vela. Position: forward. MLS team: LAFC. Caps: 68 international goals. 18 overview: Vela's history with the Mexico national team is eventful, including a 6-month suspension for involvement in a party following a friendly match in September 2010 and twice declining call-ups for important matches. He passed on the Olympics in 2012 to focus on his club career, and on World Cup qualifiers in 2013 for personal reasons. He also passed on the opportunity to play at the 2014 World Cup. It's been smoother in the past few years, and he has appeared regularly for coach Juan Carlos Osorio. De Courcy: England has broken my heart, so why not yours, too? Egypt name, Omar Gabber position, defender MLS team, Caps, 22 international goals, 0 overview. Gabber is playing on loan with LAFC from FC Basel, having established a relationship with coach Bob Bradley when Bradley ran the Egypt national team from 2011 to 13. He was a sub in the 3-1 friendly loss to Belgium and is likely to be part of the bench for the World Cup. Peru name, Andy Palap position, midfielder MLS team, Portland Timbers Caps, 15 international goals, 1 overview. Nicknamed La Joya, Spanish for the Jewel, Polo has been playing professionally since he was 16 and is playing with the Timbers this season on loan from Mexico's Morelia. He started 6 matches and subbed once for the Timbers. He did not appear in either of Peru's final 2 pre-cup friendlies and got just 21 minutes against Scotland. Name, Yoshi Yoden position, midfielder MLS team, Orlando City Caps, 70 international goals, 2 overview. Yoden is an important part of the Peru squad that finished 5th in CONMEBOL qualifying and defeated New Zealand in a playoff for one of the final World Cup spots. He plays primarily on the left side of a 3-man midfield and is likely to be on the field for the opener against Denmark. Sweden name, Gustav Svensson position, midfield, defender MLS team, Seattle Sounders Caps, 11 international goals, 0 overview. Svensson is a versatile veteran whose re-entry into Sweden's national team picture is one of the surprise stories of the World Cup. He made his first appearance in 2009, then went 7 years before being called in again. But he played 4 times in qualifying, including an appearance in the harrowing playoff against Italy.